interesting, you know. People, I think they've got it. Don't you think so? Welcome to this mid-inning show of the India-Sri Lanka game in the ICC Champions Trophy 2017. Chris Harris is here with us to reflect on that Indian innings. Let's just quickly reflect on that innings. India have set Sri Lanka a daunting target of 322 in the ICC Champions Trophy 2017. This after Shikhar Dhawan continued his love affair with the tournament with another 100. Sri Lanka won the toss and decided to bowl first and picked for seamers. But that ploy did not pay off as the Indian openers, Dhawan and Rohit Sharma, once again got going. Dhawan and Sharma put on 100 plus for the third international game in a row when both have opened together for India. The 138-run stand of 24.5 overs took them past Chris Gayle and Shiv Chandrapal as the most successful opening pairing in the Champions Trophy. Sharma fell for 78 and Virat Kohli surprisingly fell for a duck to Nuwan Pradeep. Yuvraj didn't bother the scorers much as well. Shikhar Dhawan brought up his 10th ODI 100 and with MS Dhoni took India past the 200 mark. Dhawan fell after making 125, which was his 10th ODI 100 and also his third at the Champions Trophy. Dhoni continued his rich vein of form against Sri Lanka with 63 as India finished up at 321. Let's take a look at that scorecard. Shikhar Dhawan 125 in just about run a ball. Also setting up the top of the innings was Rohit Sharma with that 78. MS Dhoni got 63 as well. His career average, remember, against Sri Lanka around about 61. So Dhoni delivering against an opposition he's always scored well against. The Sri Lankan seamers getting hammered. Chris Harris, 321. We expected India to score big and score in excess of 300. They've gone out there, done the job. 322 is the target, and you get a feeling it could be a bit too far for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I think so. But what Sri Lanka have done well, when you consider the start that India got, which was superb with Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma, because that's exactly the way they want to play, set a platform. What Sri Lanka did, though, was not give up. They stuck to their game plans. They got 3 quick wickets. They got Sharma, Kohli, and one other, Yuvraj Singh. So what that did is it looked at one stage they get 350. So to reduce them to 320, I think it's still a bridge too far. But what they have done is given themselves a wee slimmer of hope. If the top order fires, Dick Weller goes out and plays well, and Matthews plays well, they've given themselves a slim chance.
And also, Chris, I think we should doff our hats to you because we asked you to pick some key battles within battles of this game, and you seem to have got them spot on. You got Virat Kohli and Nuwan. You also got Yuvraj Singh and Gunaratne as well. So that seems to be following the script. What about the other ones? What do India need to do now, especially the bowlers, because they know Sri Lanka have to come hard. So they've got the runs on board. It's very simple. They don't need to plan anything different. Just go and put the pressure.
I think the seamers for India have been bowling very well, so they've got to stick to their plans they have been using. I think the absolute key for Sri Lanka to have any chance of getting this target is to start well. And with Dick Weller at the top, he needs to be aggressive. And if they get off to a quick start, because remember, Sri Lanka don't have the power that India have at the end. So they'll need to go quicker. I think India scored at 4.8, which seems to be their plan every game. Sri Lanka will need to go at 6s or 7s to give themselves a chance of keeping up the rate at the end. So I would think in the first 10 overs, we can expect fireworks from the Sri Lankans. Or if it doesn't work, we'll expect a lot of wickets for India.
But let's look at this performance from India in more detail. And you know, Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma, they came together just ahead of that Champions Trophy in 2013. They're now the most successful pairing in terms of openers in the Champions Trophy. They seem to get runs all the time. Is it down to that approach from India to be cautious at the beginning and then when the bowlers start to tire? And we didn't see a very impressive opening spell from the Sri Lankan bowlers. In fact, a complete half-tracker from Malinga to start the innings. And once the Indians get set, they seem to always convert it into a big one.
Yeah, they're a brilliant pairing. I mean, they've got obviously advantages. There's a left-hander and a right-hander. The conditions are good in England for batting. And I think what they do very well is you'll see both of them get behind the run rate initially. As you said, they score at 4.5 to 5 and over in that first 10. And then the ability, once they get in, used to the conditions, the way they can pick it up, and they don't just get out for 30 or 40. We saw Shikhar get a big 100, and also Rohit Sharma trying to accelerate, got a good 79. The other thing I loved about the Indians today, Yuvraj didn't score any runs, Kohli didn't score any runs, and Pahandra didn't, and you had other guys obviously Dhoni, magnificent at the end as always.
Kohli showed he was human after all.
Yeah.
But MS Dhoni showed he was superhuman when it comes to playing against Sri Lanka.
He loves the Sri Lankans. As you said, he averaged 61 before today, so he went just above that. And he's got a strike rate, I think, of about 61 or 62 against them. So he seems to love playing against the Sri Lankans and proved it again today.
Also, you know, before I pick up Rohit Sharma's wagon wheel on our screen, I just want to draw your attention to the way India paced their innings. In the first 10 overs, they got 48. After 20 overs, they were 107, so that was 59 runs they scored in that period. 30th over, they were 169 for 2, so there was 62 with the loss of 2 wickets. At the end of 40, they were 218. That's where perhaps the pace dropped. They got just 49. In the last 10, they went at 103. So how do you look at the way India paced their innings?
I think that innings is perfect for them. The one thing that they'll feel as though they let themselves down was between that 30 and 40. Normally they're better when they've got wickets in hand between that period. But I think we have to take our hats off to Sri Lanka. I think that was when they picked up a couple of wickets. And the easiest way, as we know, to slow the over rate is to pick up wickets. So I think Sri Lanka got things and got their plans right then, picked up a couple of wickets. And as I said, what that did, that 10 over slot, meant they've still kept themselves in the game. I think it's going to be a very tough ask, but they have given themselves a chance.
Since we are talking about the Indian batsmen, I think it's fair that we talk about Shikhar Dhawan first, because 100 in an IC tournament is huge. I remember I was there at the MCG, got a big 100 against South Africa. So let's just look at Shikhar Dhawan's wagon wheel, and that's going to be coming up on our screens. And talk to us, you know, there it is. Just talk to us about the way he batted. You know, they tried to test him with some short balls, but he really played it very well as well. What do you make of this?
Yeah, well, I love the fact that, as I said earlier, in his innings, he takes his time, he gets himself in, he gets used to the pace, and as I said, his strike rate in the early innings is about 60 or 70, but then the way he can accelerate, I think the Sri Lankans bowled a little bit too short to him. He's very strong on the offside, but you can see here today, he got a lot of short pitch bowling, which he dealt too well, played the pull shot very well, and I thought the running between the wickets, especially when he was batting with Dhoni, was excellent. When they didn't hit the boundaries, they were consistently looking for 2, and you can see he's strong, very square of the wicket on both sides, off and leg side, so I think if the Sri Lankans saw this now, they'll say, okay, we bowled too short to him. And to be fair to him, he executed it beautifully.
And also let's bring up the wagon wheel of Rohit Sharma as well, because that start was very important for India. And even he, you know, initially took his time, got a half-tracker to start off, and it was pretty lazy effort, if you could call it, from Lasith Malinga. And it's interesting to note that Sri Lanka picked four seamers. The top 3 went for over 200.
Yeah, so they'll be disappointed. They won the toss expecting that they may get some assistance. They didn't get very much assistance at all, and the Indian batsman obviously made them play. But this is a little bit similar to Dhawan's wagon wheel. Again, I think it shows that they bowled a little bit too short. He loves the leg side, also loves that extra cover region. So they bowled a little bit too straight and a little bit too short to him. And the bounce on the wicket was good, so both the Indian openers punished them any time they were short.
And also, finally, final thoughts before I let you go, Chris. India have gone out there, put the runs on the board. It's now over to the bowlers, and the bowlers have been always delivering. Do you see anything in the conditions that would make them suffer? Is this a very good batting track, or there's still something in it for them to exploit?
I think it's a very good batting track. I think India will be happy that they scored 324. I think if they were really tough on themselves, they perhaps could have got 350. So that plays into Sri Lanka, and as I said, in that period between 30 and 40, bowled very well. 324, I think it's too many for Sri Lanka, but I think at least at 324, if they play brilliantly and India is slightly off, they have got a slight opportunity.
Can Sri Lanka take that opportunity? Well, India have gone out there, put the runs on the board. That's it from Chris Harris and me. We'll be back at 11 p.m. tonight at the end of this match. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.